So this is Ducky, and she is my daughter's baby duck. We just got her for Tractor Supply, so she was a Tractor Supply special. Um, Honestly, it wasn't anything special. I went to Tractor Supply, and a lot of their baby ducklings were dead in the pen, and two of them were alive, and we took them home. Unfortunately, the boy did not make it very long past that. I think that they were already sick. Ducky's doing pretty well. But the thing about ducks is whenever you raise them and it's just you and them and they have a chance to see you and get used to you, they imprint on you. And so Ducky is going to be one of our layers. I'm 98% sure that she's a girl. And so it's okay for us to get attached because we're not going to eat her or anything else. She's going to live out her life here on our homestead and get to grow. But every morning she just screams her little head off, or if the boys are up playing games late or reading or playing or whatever they're doing, she also just chirps as loud as she can so that people will know that she wants to be held and loved. They're really social creatures. So today we are outside and we are checking up on our garden and the outside ducks and seeing what's going on. So I'm out here with Ducky, and we are going to check on the big ducks first. This girl is getting restless. She wants to get down and go play, so I'm going to let her in here where I know she's safe. The problem is she's really fast, and her brooder is inside since she's only one. I didn't want her outside by herself right now. I've tried to find her some companions, but it's been really hard. No one has ducks the right size, and ducks grow so quickly. If I get ducks that are too big or too small, either she'll trample the little ones or older ducks will trample her. I'm 90% sure she's a rowan, but I just really don't know yet. Good morning, guys. They're already tired with me. They just want me for food and water. That's it. It's only been a few days since we've cleaned out our rabbit cages, and they've already knocked out almost all their hay. So I'm gonna go get some more hay today and clean that out. We have a lone egg. We only have 2 duck hens currently, so 1 egg is okay. I have 8 eggs inside, so this makes 9. And I'm going to hatch out these eggs, so I'm just kind of waiting. I give myself at least 2 weeks because ducks wait a couple of weeks, and I've seen hens gather 20 eggs and hatch them out. Well, they only lay an egg a day, so that means it's 20 days at least of egg laying, and since a lot of ducks don't lay an egg a day. Look at Ducky. She escaped to follow me. Oh no, not in the big duck coop. Oh my goodness. She wants in there with the big ducks. Look at them in their messy water already. We change this out in the morning and the afternoon every night, but man, I tell you what, ducks water, they're messy. They're just messy creatures, but they're a lot of fun. So Ducky wants in the big coop with the big ducks, but the problem is that the big ducks would probably be too aggressive and too mean, so she'd end up getting hurt pretty quickly. And we do not want to see our baby hurt, so it's just not an option yet. Okay, so here we go. Here are banana plants right here. They just kind of planted in the kids area. There, my oldest son decided he wanted some banana plants. It takes them 18 months to produce, so this is their second year, but they're not going to produce because last year we had a pretty good freeze and it ended up killing the mother plant. So what we're going to do is probably put a greenhouse over the top of these guys, just a temporary one, and hopefully that'll help them get through the winter this year. We also planted them next to our concrete slab to kind of create a little microsystem, so at night they continue to get heat from during the day. They do not like my presence, in case you can't tell. They just like to be left alone, do their own thing, those ducks. This is our little cracky method experiment. It's not going well. We actually ended up buying the proper hydroponic growing solution to do it for real. So hopefully that helps a little better. Here, I saw a ducky in my hand. Here, ducky, you want him with the plants for a minute? And here we have a baby squash, but of course we finally get one of the squash to blossom very well, and then there are no male squash flowers on any of our squash plants. I even looked at plants that were different types of squash to see, and there was 0. So, look at Ducky, she's having a good old time. Where'd she go? Hiding. I hear a lot of people say that ducks don't eat plants. That may be true for them, but let me tell you, my ducks eat my plants. So, she's in here munching away on some of them. Look at these cucumbers. I pollinated all of the open ones by hand this morning. There are a ton of babies. I did not think that dark cucumbers, being such a compact variety, would produce so many so many cucumbers, but man, I'm really blessed. They're really good size for pickling too, so I'm pretty excited. If you wanted to do like some larger whole pickles, they'd be perfect size because they top out around 4.5 to 5 inches long. She's just having the time of her life hanging out in here. So this is another container that we have. These were part of a 55-gallon barrel. There's the first half right there, and this is the second half. So on this half, instead of filling it with soil, I filled it most of the way up with the hay, and you can see the rabbit manure. These came from the rabbit cages. So I filled it up all the way up. The rains kind of compacted it down. So I'm going to fill up this final third of it with soil or compost. Just put that on top and see how well it grows. This may be the new way that I decide to grow plants from now on, because I have to use this bedding for my rabbits anyways. So as it comes down and gets used, instead of just throwing it into the compost pile, it can become soil for my plants to grow out of. Oh, look at her. Having the time of her life here. I told you they imprint, right? To her, we're mom, so she just wants to be where we are. There you go. That's okay. You're a sweet girl. I don't know if you can see them, but we have this water. Originally we wanted to make it into a swimming pool, but with the Texas heat and how fast algae grows, we realized that would be a bad idea. So yesterday we went and we got 25 comets, and honestly, I left the pet store and one had already died. It was insane. So I can see it swimming over there, but I don't think you can see it in the camera. There's one swimming. Yeah, you can't see it in the camera, but I can see it really well. Maybe it'll come closer. Oh man, I don't even know where it went. It must have went deeper underwater. It'll be a lot easier to see them right when they get older. Right now they're only an inch long, so it's really hard to see them, especially with this water. I'm gonna go get some water plants to put on it. So we bought 20, we only expect about 5 to 7 to live. These are feeder fish, so they're not known for being long. You know, they're not bred to live for a long time, but also these feeder fish are goldfish, so they could grow for a couple of years if they're healthy enough. When you get them from the pet store, they're just kind of jammed into a pet cage and, well, to an aquarium, and they don't look so great. There's always a few already dead in there. Oh, there's one right under this leaf hanging out. Looks like one of our white ones. So if we have 5 that grow to full size, that would be exciting for me. Ducky's wanting in that water really bad, but of course, look, one of them's dead here. I really shouldn't be using my hand to do this, but whatever. Look at that. Lost another one. And that sucks. It always sucks when you lose animals, even fish. I think the loss is one of the things on the homestead that's the hardest. But our ducks love the fish, so we just throw them into the duck coop and they'll eat them within a few seconds. I asked for some feeder fish yesterday, and the young kid selling them was like, but do ducks eat fish? And I was like, absolutely. Ducks will eat your fish, and you have to be careful because ducks will try to eat fish that are way too big for them to eat, and it can be dangerous. So we make sure that if they have access to the water fish, it's always the small ones, nothing major that can hurt them. She thinks she's being tortured because I'm not holding her, but she wants to get down and play. It's her breakfast time, so after we're done with this, we're gonna go feed this little baby. Look at this. Aren't these beautiful? These are my bee balm flowers. I planted this as a tiny plant start last year, and it has grown into this just beast of a plant, taking over everything. These guys spread through roots. You can buy bee balm seeds, but they spread really well through the roots. Bee balm is actually a member of the mint family. You can see that. Here's the bottom part of it. We're in zone 9, so it's just going to take over everything. And bee balm is used for tea, so it's a really great herbal remedy. It has a lot of uses, that's why I planted it. And this is our chocolate mint. Here's kind of down, and so you can see the similarities between the two. And of course there's Ducky. She follows me everywhere I go. So here's our chocolate mint and the roots. You can kind of see it versus the bee balm, since they're in the same family. These flowers are just amazing. And I've seen our chocolate mint flower last year, and they also have purple flowers, but they look different. They're really cool. If you actually go to my shorts, I have a picture of a mint moth getting nectar out of the flowers from our chocolate mint. So if you're curious about what those flowers look like. I'm really impressed. So what I'm going to do is I will actually harvest the leaves off of this plant and dry them for tea. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with the flowers yet. I know that there's a few uses, so I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with them. I'm almost too sad to harvest them because they're so beautiful. Luckily, this is a plant that's going to take over, and I'm going to go ahead and divide it right here at the roots. You can just kind of separate it along the roots and replant it anywhere, and it will take over. So men are ferocious growers. They just, once you plant them, that's it. Look how much it's grown. It is taking over. It's even trying to take over our rose bush. It's insane. Look, this mint's trying to take over these flowers. This is why when they tell you to plant mint, because it'll take over, plant it inside of a raised bed or a container. It doesn't stop it. Look, this is the raised bed. This is a foot over into the walkway. Isn't that crazy? Flowering broccoli. Okay. She's not having this. I thought maybe she'd want to eat some of the carrot greens. Look here, there's actually a carrot that didn't get harvested. How crazy is that? These little bitties are the carrots that were just too small to harvest when we harvested a couple thousand carrots. Actually, we just kind of threw them in. Here's a little white carrot growing. Come on, little one. Let's go eat some breakfast. We always hear about how important bees are, but look at this. This is a red wasp, and it's pollinating my spicy oregano plant. As far as our baby ducks go, I try not to give them water to swim in until they're 3 weeks old. The oil that produces from their feathers Their moms usually put it on to their skin. Well, this one doesn't have a mom because she was bought from a feed store. So I I can't put that oil on our feathers. So what I do is I wait till they turn 3 weeks old, because at 3 weeks their bodies start producing the oils themselves. If they're submerged in water before that age, especially if they're a lone duck, they're not going to be able to get warm. It gets under their little feathers and it's just not good for them. She still has baby flesh. She doesn't even have real feathers yet. So that's something we really watch out for. Duckie's about that age. She's starting to get actual feathers are coming in on her wings. And right here on her tail, you can kind of see the feathers starting to come in. She's our sweet girl. So when I bought duck food, I accidentally bought pellets. So because she's so little and because ducks have a tendency to choke, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this 1/3 of the way with water. And what that's going to do is allow the food to soak up all of the water, and it's going to make it a soft mush so that she won't choke. Now, it's really important when ducks are eating, they need water to be able to digest their food properly. So that's really important. So all of my ducks actually have 100% available water all the time, especially it being so hot. She's not even waiting for it to finish getting mushy all the way. She's just going for it. She's a hungry girl. When you're homesteading, you start finding joy in all the little things. Like, there's going to be a lot of loss, there's a lot of hard lessons learned, and it's a lot of hard work, and that's just honest, but there are a lot of good times. Feeding baby ducks and taking care of them is definitely a good time. It's been really great for our boys too, because they're learning a lot of responsibility. But it's also good for our daughter. She has white matter disease. She really has a large fear of a lot of animals. And Duckie is one of the only animals she's not afraid of. She actually named Duckie herself. So she's going to be a really important part of our homestead, because we're actually going to be able to teach our daughter to take care of animals and enjoy the little things. And that's so important. White matter disease has been such a debilitating and horrible disease for us to watch her go through. It's literally a crippling disease. If you don't know, it's where the white matter on your brain begins to slowly die off. And unfortunately, the white matter is what coats all of your nerves. It's a very important part of your central nervous system, because without it, you're not able to function, you're not able to stand up, to walk, to eat, to drink. The myelin sheath actually is what causes your movements to be almost instantaneous. When our daughter was a baby, I say baby, about 18 months old, when we finally got our diagnosis, things started making sense. Like, sometimes it looked like she was moving in slow motion. She's become much more quicker. Her brain's really... It's just been a miracle watching her brain work and find new ways to get information across, and watching her learn. She went from nonverbal to speaking. She's an excellent communicator, and there is a large chance that she will become nonverbal again, because as her brain deteriorates, that's just what happens. But this is a good part of this for us, is getting to see her learn and take care of animals, and Duckie bringing her joy and bringing us joy. You just learn to really enjoy the little things, which you thought that you wouldn't celebrate a child being able to pick up a spoon, feeding a baby duck. These things become essential to celebrating all of the good things. You just have to. On a lighter note, our first yellow tomato fell off the vine, so we brought it into the kitchen window to continue to ripen. With this, look, there's a color coming in right there. Isn't it beautiful? But and I thought this was going to be a good 8-ounce tomato, so I'm not sure what happened right here. It just kind of booped off. Here's one of our little cherry tomatoes. Hey, Duckie, you want a tomato? You want a tomato? No, I want you to leave me alone, woman. Put in here, see if she'll try it. See if I crack it in half. Oops. Well, there. Wow, that is a lot of seeds for a little cherry tomato. I guess if you're wanting to save seeds from a Sweet 100, you have a lot of options there. Oh my goodness. Let's clean out this. She was eating in here, so it's all messy. We're gonna clean it out. Our sink is shallow enough she can actually climb out anytime she wants. If you hear some funny noise in the background, my 7-year-old's back there playing video games with his cousins, so ignore the crazy zombie talk. Man, look at this duckling. So, baby ducks don't start producing oil from their glands till at least 3 weeks of age. So it's really important for me not to put them in any source of water until I know that they're not going to freeze to death. When moms hatch out their ducklings, they tend to coat their feathers before and after they get in a body of water with neoprene. That's the oil that their feathers produce. To make sure that they don't get cold and so they don't sink. The whole reason that ducks are able to stay waterproof is because of the oil on their feathers. So I'm very careful about this. And then after she's done bathing, I'm going to dry her off with a towel. And I'm just going to pat her lightly. And then I'm going to put her under a heat lamp. She actually doesn't currently have the heat lamp on because the room in our house we keep her in stays pretty warm. But because she's in water, we want to make sure that she gets put under a heat lamp so that she can dry properly and that's not a danger to her. It's just getting deep enough for her to swim now. Her legs are so long she can still touch the bottom, believe it or not. Good girl. Ducks kind of dip their head under the water to bathe and throw it back on them. Ducky can climb out of the sink whenever there's not any water at all in there. So I know for sure with water in it, she's just going to easily be able to climb off over here onto the counter or over onto the towel on the right side. So she's perfectly safe, no worries. I would never leave a baby duckling in a source of water, especially a lone duck without their mom. That's just not for me. She's kind of learning to swim now. You want me a hand in case you want out? Look. You want out? She wants a break. If at any point you're bathing your duckies and you see them start shivering, guys, get them to a warm spot. That's not a good sign. So she's cleaning up a little bit more, and then after this, our bath is going to be about over, and I'm going to get her right back under that heat lamp because I want her to be nice and warm and safe. Alright, so now Ducky's finished with her bath, and I put a little thing of water here in case she wasn't done, and I just didn't realize, but no, she's done. So now I'm just going to pat her dry gently inside of a towel. Ah, she's escaping. Yeah. I know, baby. I want to get all that excess water off of her. I just don't want her so wet that the heat lamp... What? Are you getting back in the water? What are you doing, Kyle? She doesn't have a lot of feathers on her head. Just baby fuzz there. Alright, come on. This little girl's sneaky. She loves to kind of try and jump out of the sink onto the floor. It's a long drop, so we are definitely not going to let that happen. Alright. Oh, okay. Alright, well, it's time to get this baby back into her brooder and under her heat lamp. So I'm going to go do that now. We appreciate you joining us today and hope you guys have a great day. It's okay, baby. Let's go.